Hello, dear students. Today we are going to start up with a new chapter that is business environment. So, business environment means what? We have heard about environment that is around us, but what exactly is a business environment? A business can be established, yes, but successfully sustaining and survival of the business, it is quite a big question mark. The business need resources for which it has to depend on the society or environment. The environmental factors are not static. Static means it is not fixed. They are very changing. To survive in market means to adapt changes as fast as possible. To adapt to the changes means to be aware of the business environment. So let's look into the meaning of business environment. It means the sum total of all individuals, institutions, and other forces that are outside the control of a business enterprise, but that may affect its performance. The forces which constitute the business environment are, now you need to know what are those forces, individuals or institutions. For example, the climate, economy, technology, political, legal, competition, media, fashion, and so on that are working outside an enterprise will influence the performance of the business, which are not in control of the business. So we can say that the sum total of all individuals, institutions, and other forces that are outside the control of a business enterprise, but it will definitely affect the performance of your business. Features of business environment: 1. Totality of external forces. 2. Specific and general forces. 3. Interrelation. 4. Uncertainty. 5. Dynamic nature. 6. Complexity. 7. Relativity. Let's begin with the first one, totality of external forces. Business environment includes everything which is outside the organization. If we add these forces, they will form a business environment. We just discussed in the meaning that business environment includes certain forces, factors, institutions, and individuals which will affect our business. If we add all these things, it will form a business environment. Let's look into this example. We are very familiar with the company called Coca-Cola. This company came into India in the early 1990s. Now, when this company stepped into Indian market, it was a great opportunity for the Coca-Cola company, but it was a very big threat for all other domestic manufacturers who were making similar cool drinks. Yes? So now I will say that it is the group of many such forces, that is why its nature is of totality, because there is certain factors which are outside the control of the business. You cannot control over them. For some business it is an opportunity, and for certain business it is a threat. Specific and general forces. Specific forces are those forces which directly affect the operational activities of business enterprises. For example, investor, competitor, supplier, customers, all these people in a way or the other will affect the day-to-day activities of the business. But there are general forces, or those forces which indirectly affect the functioning of business enterprise. For example, political, social, legal, domestic, technological, environment affect the business performance indirectly. So we will sum it up together as specific and general forces. Specific, which directly affect the business, general forces, which indirectly affect the performance of the business. Interrelation. All the forces and factors of business environment are interrelated to each other. For example, with tendency of youth towards Western culture, the demand for fast food is increasing. Not only fast food, there is a shift from your regular breakfast menu towards these things like your muesli, chocos, all multigrain foods, oats, and so on. In addition to that, due to this pandemic, okay, and sitting at home for months with no exercise has made people more conscious. So they are running and buying bicycles. And in fact, in Bangalore itself, bicycle companies are seeing a profit. They are making good revenues. But whereas there are other certain industries which are running under loss. So you can observe that there are certain factors and forces which are interrelated to each other. Uncertainty. It is very difficult to predict the changes of business environment as the environment is changing very fast. For example, information technology, fashion industry, frequent and fast changing are taking place. For this, let me give you an example of Paris, which is the capital of France. Here, the fashion keeps on changing for every minute, they say. But whereas the fashion does not so very fast change in India. Or it could be because of the pandemic, there is a total upside down. You cannot even predict how your business is going to function in coming few days. Dynamic nature. Business environment is highly flexible and keep changing in terms of 1. Technological improvement, 2. Shift in consumer preferences, 3. The entry of new competition in the market. For example, I will call this as the evolution of smartphones. Okay, how did it all together start? You can have a look into the picture. And today we have the smartphones with latest technology. And what does this latest technology talk all about now? You have something called as digitalized phones, okay, which will support your fast internet of 5G. Forget about 3G now. People are thinking of 5G. Triple sensor cameras, enhanced cameras. Okay, now you have 2 lenses. Now in coming days you will have 3, 4 and 5, the multiples. The touch sensors, okay, under screen sensors. There are so many things that the phone will have its own transformation coming in near future. Let me give you another example. Many fast moving consumer goods companies, okay, are focusing on producing goods with natural ingredients. For this, the very big threat is the Patanjali company, which says everything is natural, okay, organic food. Okay, so quite naturally for other companies, it's a big threat, it's a competition. So what we can say is business is not static, it is not fixed or rigid. It is not like something you cannot bend. That is why it is essential to monitor and scan the business environment continuously. It is very important to understand the business environment and to flow with the changes. Complexity. Business environment is difficult to understand. It can be understood easily in parts, but in totality, it is difficult to understand. Why it becomes difficult to understand? In small parts you can, yes, like for example, you have our Indian government which has started charging, imposing taxes on your mask, hand sanitizers, okay, and all other medical equipments. Yes, of course, there was GST earlier, but the price slabs, the tax rates have been slowly shifted. Please go check how much tax are you paying on all these items now. In small portion you can understand, but in a larger sense, why exactly did the government impose such a tax? What is the benefit? How it will impact the business in a long run? How it will affect its cost, revenue, profits? Is a complex thought. Relativity. Business environment differs from company to company, region to region, country to country. For example, demand for saris in India may be fairly high in India, but almost non existent in France. It is very common, it's a tradition. Women wear saris. It is quite difficult to find such a woman in France because the culture over there is totally different. Let me give you another example. In Japan, the work dress code for women is to be in a formal wear, especially in skirts and heels. It is mandatory. Mandatory meaning compulsory. But if you look into the other Arab countries, it is totally different. And this is how the women have to move out towards a workplace. So I hope with this you can understand that business environment differs from company to company, region to region, country to country. I hope by this you have understood the features of business environment. Thank you.